This is the story of a man who lost everything and became a legend. In 1840, Jeff Turner rode with the Texas Rangers into Comanche territory. The battle was brutal, gunfire cracked, knives slashed, and Turner moved like a ghost, cutting men down without mercy. Some said the Comanche feared him more than the Rangers did. But who was he before the bloodshed? How did a simple Kentucky farmer become a ruthless hunter of men? This is the legend of the Haunted Man. If you love stories of the Old West, survival, and revenge, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this channel grow. And if you want more legendary tales like this, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. The Haunted Man. The night was heavy on the bank of Chetay Creek, Texas, 1840. A lone campfire flickered, casting jagged shadows across Jeff Turner's face. He sat motionless, gripping a hunting knife, his haunted eyes locked on the flames. Sleep never came easy, not with the memories lurking. 60 miles away lay the farm he once called home, on the banks of the Guadalupe River. He had built a life there, a wife, 3 boys, a future. But that was before the stranger arrived with tales of Texas, before the move that changed everything, before the bloodshed. The decision to move to Texas one cool evening in Kentucky. A weary traveler stopped by Jeff Turner's farm, asking for a meal and a place to rest. Over supper, he spoke of Texas' vast open land, rich soil, rivers thick with fish, and hills alive with game. Free for any man bold enough to take it, he said. Jeff listened, his calloused hands still aching from another day behind the plow, his mind stirring with the promise of something greater. By dawn, the stranger was gone, but his words lingered. Kentucky was steady, familiar but offered no future. Texas meant a chance to build something lasting. "This is our home, Jeff," she said softly, rocking their youngest. "Ain't that enough?" But Jeff's restlessness won. By fall, the farm was sold, their life packed into a wagon, and they headed south. The road was long, the trails rough, but Jeff's eyes burned with the fire of a man chasing a dream. The reality of Texas. They lingered near San Antonio for weeks, a rough town of settlers and soldiers, before following the Guadalupe River southeast. Near a tributary maybe close to where Seguin or Gonzales stand today, Jeff and his 2 eldest boys hacked a cabin from cedar logs. Spring came, and they cleared brush for crops. The land was everything the stranger had promised. Fertile, wild, alive. Jeff hunted deer and turkey, keeping the table full, while a creek bubbled nearby, its water clear and cold. His wife softened to it, humming as she worked the garden. The boys chased wooden hoops by the stream, their laughter ringing through the air. For a moment, it felt like home. But peace never lasts long on the frontier. And Jeff Turner was about to learn that the hard way. Jeff kissed his wife goodbye, her song trailing after him as he slung his rifle over his shoulder and headed out to hunt. The boys waved, sticks in hand, rolling their hoops along the creek. He'd gone less than a mile, ducking into a timbered thicket, when the silence broke, a dozen rifle shots cracking through the air, followed by screams. His blood turned to ice. He ran, boots pounding the earth, dread clawing at his chest. The screams shifted his wife's voice, his son's mingling with guttural war cries. Then, silence, save for the shouts of the attackers. The Comanche raid. He burst from the thicket and saw the cabin ahead, smoke curling from its roof. Comanche warriors swarmed the homestead, a dozen or more, their ponies stamping the dirt. Jeff charged from the front as they looted from the rear. Inside, his wife lay crumpled by the door, blood pooling beneath her, their youngest son clasped in her arms, both pale and still. Near the back, his 2 older boys sprawled, scalped and bloodied, their small bodies testament to a futile fight. The sight snapped something in Jeff. As the Comanche turned back, unaware he'd returned, he fired his rifle, dropping one with a shot to the heart. Knife in hand, he leapt at the rest, a roar tearing from his throat. Like a tiger, he'd later say, slashing and stabbing in a frenzy. The warriors faltered, stunned by his fury, and he cut down several before their rifles answered. Bullets tore into him shoulder, thigh, chest, and he fell, blood soaking the dirt beside his family. The Comanche, spooked by the possibility of more Texians, grabbed their spoils and fled into the hills. Hours later, a neighbor rode by, drawn by the unnatural quiet. He found the carnage, Jeff's family dead, 4 Comanche sprawled around them, one with Jeff's knife buried to the hilt in his ribs. Jeff lay across another, hands locked around the warrior's throat, barely alive. The neighbor hauled him onto a horse and brought him home, where rough stitches and whiskey kept death at bay. Turner's survival and transformation for weeks. Fever and pain racked him, but he survived. His body mended, his mind did not. The man who rose from that bed wasn't the farmer who dreamed of Texas. That man died with his family. What remained was something else, something hollow. At night, when the pain lessened, he wondered, was Texas worth it? Had he chased a dream, only to bury it in the dirt? Jeff buried them where they fell, abandoned the farm, and took to the wilds, Pepper Pod his only companion. Revenge became his life's sole purpose. He told himself it was justice, but sometimes, when he gutted a warrior in the dark, he felt nothing, no rage, no relief, just the same emptiness that haunted his nights. For years, he hunted Comanche across central Texas, tracking their trails deep into their lands. Alone, he ambushed war parties, killing with rifle and knife, scalping the fallen. But in the silence afterward, when there was nothing left but blood and the wind, the question gnawed at him. Had he become the very thing he hated? Settlers whispered his name, Jeff Turner, the Indian hater, a figure of awe and dread. But every night, by fires like the one on Chetty Creek, he sat sleepless, torn between memory and nightmare, a man hollowed by loss. Turner joins the Texas Rangers one day. Needing ammo, he rode to a settlement near Victoria. The place buzzed with news. Texas Rangers had trudged in on foot, their horses stolen by Comanche that morning. Young and green, led by a 23-year-old rookie named Bigfoot Wallace, they were mad as hornets and itching for payback. A rancher offered them a remuda of half-wild horses, and soon they were saddled, chasing the thieves. Jeff watched from the edge of town, then spurred Pepper Pod to follow. The Rangers tensed as he approached, hands on guns, until Wallace squinted. "You a stranger around here?" Jeff shook his head, voice low. "Know every watering hole from here to the Rio Grande. Ain't me scared of the Comanche, it's them scared of me." He spat, eyes dark. "Got 46 scalps hanging in my lodge back on Chetty Creek. I aim to make it 100. Wallace, uneasy but desperate, nodded. Jeff joined the ride. The battle with the Comanche Jeff led the Rangers to the Comanche camp at sundown. The charge was sudden, brutal. Rifles cracked, knives flashed in the dying light. Chaos erupted, men fought in the brush, gunpowder thick in the air. Jeff moved like a ghost, his blade finding flesh, his rifle never still. Wallace watched in stunned silence as Jeff scalped a fallen warrior, then shot another still tangled in a stolen horse's rope. The Comanche broke, vanishing into the dusk, leaving the Rangers with their stolen mounts. That night by the fire, a ranger joked about shooting a stump in the chaos. Jeff laughed once. The sound was raw, unsettling. But as the fire crackled and the others drifted into sleep, he sat awake, staring at the blood still caked beneath his nails. If this was justice, why did it feel no different than the nightmare? He ran a hand over his knife, then to the scalps at his belt. Had the man who once dreamed of Texas been buried alongside his family? Was he now just a ghost hunting ghosts? Turner's ruthlessness. Wallace watched Jeff work, scalping with a cool precision that belied the wildness in his gaze. The Rangers, hardened as they were, flinched at his relentlessness, each slash of his knife a testament to the man he'd become. After the fight, they shared a meal, and for a moment, Jeff's laughter broke through, raw and startling. But it faded fast, the shadows creeping back into his face. He bid them farewell at the Zumwalt settlement, riding off alone, scalps swinging from his belt like grim pendants. Turner's fate, unknown. Wallace's legend grew, a ranger till 1899, but Jeff's end stayed a mystery. Years later, in 1932, an old cowboy named Frank Collinson sat with writer Frank Dobie in an El Paso hotel room. Over a flickering lamp, he shared two tales Wallace had told him. In one, the Comanche caught Jeff asleep, bound him, and dragged him to a chief's camp. Under a brutal sun, they staked him out, beat him, and cut out his heart for the chief's wife to eat, believing it held power for her unborn child. In the other, Jeff and a man named Smokey fought off a raiding party, only to trap themselves in a cave. A rattlesnake bit Jeff, and as venom took him, He raved of hell's skylight before dying. Smokey buried him near Fort Phantom Hill. No one knows which, if either is true. But one thing is certain: Jeff Turner lived and died in blood. A farmer, a killer, a ghost that still haunts the wild heart of Texas. The haunted man, hero, or monster? You decide. Next tale coming soon.